Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things Mecha. Jumpship incoming.
All right. Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, episode number 67. I am your host this month, Chopper, and I'm joined with the ever Brian and the ever Rob.
Effervescent.
The effervescing Brian and Rob. Happy New Year, everybody.
Merry
Christmas. Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
It's 2024.
The distant future of 2024.
So, I mean, we all should have mechs by now, right?
I do.
Oh,
I do. You do?
got a whole box of them down in the basement.
I have a mech. It moves very slow, which is very frustrating when I want to do combat.
We're all mechs. We're all just brains in our mech suits.
Yes. But I brought back the old have to pilot your mechs in no shirt and shorts. Look.
Classic.
Yeah.
It gets hot in those mechs.
It gets hot in mechs. And unless you're a clan guy, you can wear a full 3-piece suit if you're a clan guy.
Well, because it's got cooling in it.
Yeah, because it's got 19 million triple heat absorbing sinks.
Lots of sinks. Even the kitchen one.
He's still holding grudge.
I am. I'm never going to let it go. Like a rabid pit bull. Even if it's fixed and canon and everything else and everyone's got them, I'm still going to hold on to that. Speaking about dying on my tombstone, it'll be double sense of bullshit.
Isn't the show for kids?
Well, they need to know my anger. So.
Anyways.
All right, well, I guess now that I've vented and committed crimes,
you dropped heat
for the beginning of the year, let's move on to the dropship.
Dropship landing.
Starting the new year off strong.
Welcome to the dropship. Here we are. What we've been working on. I'm sure this is going to be a very short segment, as this has been holiday related, and I'm sure people that have not been at home or have had guests at their house and have been limited by family obligations. So let's start with Rob, since he obviously hates Christmas.
You know, we have a sponsor you're supposed to read.
Oh, well, I was going to get to that then, but we'll read the sponsor now.
We always read it first. I don't know what all of a sudden.
It's a new year. I was trying to change it up. God. Here we go. The Dropship is brought to you by John Bear Ross. He is no longer doing his Patreon, but we want you to support him still. All his past projects are still available on My Mini Factory. Just search for John Bear Ross, and the link will be in our show notes. We thank JBR for being a loyal sponsor and a friend of the show.
There you go.
A loyal being.
So we have no preview of what's next month.
Yeah, it's sad.
Because he's no longer doing his Patreon. He's working on his books instead, so I guess that's good, because his books are very good. So
yes. So that's not to say. I also will say that he might revisit again later on the line, but fingers crossed, because his some of his mechs were really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so let's hop back on track again. Since Rob doesn't believe in Christmas, let's go to Rob.
I did do something. I printed up from Extra Guy's Patreon. He did some more cyclones from Mospita or Robotech, or I guess that's it.
Yep.
And he did another version. This time it was he always does the 3 versions: the bike, the guy, and the suit. So it's a different one from last time. I think this is what's his name? God, I don't remember any other names anymore.
Which one?
Bernard?
No, it's the other one. The guy with the red hair.
Oh, he's got the yellow cyclone, right?
It's kind of beige-ish, yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's this version. Anyways, it was fun. I printed them up at small scale, so it's 28 millimeter scale, so or 30, whatever it is. So they fit on Battletech bases. So they go with my other one I printed up before. So I'm starting a collection, which is one more set of cyclones, and hopefully, well, somebody else does the Veritex, so I'll maybe have to pick those at the right scale and have a whole set. That'd be kind of fun. Maybe I'll eventually paint them. Probably not. But yeah, so that's what I've done so far. That's all I've done. Other than that, I haven't even printed that much. It's been pretty quiet. So I'm sure this could be a very short segment since you guys never do anything. So.
Well, I mean, it's not that we don't ever do anything. I've been doing stuff, but like I said, why don't you regale us with a 2-minute tale there, Brian?
All right. Well, oh man, 2 minutes.
You got to.
Well, didn't build a whole lot this last month, as you can imagine. Didn't do as much painting. Have Kings of War tournament coming up in January, so mostly fantasy scenery on the table. But I did pick up some of those wire joiners from an RC. so like one of our new hobby shops in the area that's supporting Mantic stuff is also like a big RC car shop. And so the wiring for my fan and my 3D printer has been, if it gets too far over to the right, I can hear it die, which means the wires are loose.
Your 3D printer is taking a beating.
Yeah, it's been through some stuff. So I've got some of those little wire, like the little plastic tubes. You put them both in. Last time I was following the advice of somebody on YouTube who just used a flame to try and close them. But this time I'm going to use a heat gun.
Yeah, you can control the fire, the heat a bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, the last time it just kind of burned the tubing a little bit and didn't get a good seal on it. And so I'm going to use a heat gun this time. Hopefully get that problem taken care of, and then I'm finding people that want stuff 3D printed en masse with a lot of like dead zone scenery and stuff like that for different tables and tournament projects and whatnot. So Rick had given me a surplus printer, his old surplus printer, now that he's got some bigger ones. And so I need to see about getting that one back up and running. And then I also...
you got to start charging these people. That's what you got to do, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. And then I also happened upon someone who was like, hey, you do 3D printing, right? I have a whole bunch of filament that I need to get rid of. I'm like, cool, I'll take it off your hands. And it's all 2.85
yeah, it's wrong
millimeter.
Size. Yeah.
So, but it's like a huge garbage bag full of spools.
So you're like, I got to find a printer that can print this?
Yeah, now I got to find a printer that can use it, because
you probably could just get a new hot end for the current printer you have. That would just get the right size.
It would be kind of a full swap out, because it'd be a new hot end and new tubing.
Oh yeah,
stuff like
and
that,
yeah, the feeder too would be the wrong size. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those, like,
I've never actually seen a 3D printer for that size. Like, I've always seen the filament, but I've never seen the printer.
My quick cursory look shows a bunch of them that are over $1,000.
Yeah, is that more industrial ones or that size maybe?
Yeah, I think so. So I started a new job, but I don't have that kind of surplus cash.
Maybe just keep checking on eBay or something, or Kijiji or whatever.
Like I said, maybe it's something I'll get around to. Maybe I'll get Rick's old printer configured for that. And kind of go from there. So
build it from scratch. I think that's what you got to do.
Build it from scratch.
Yep.
I'll 3D print the printer that can use that because that's crazy.
Future.
But yeah, so that's kind of what's been on the docket, is getting my printers, now plural.
I wonder if you could. I know there's a way to recycle filament, so I wonder if you could just recycle it into the right size. Melt it down and then spool it.
You have to get an extruder, and the extruder, I think, was the expensive part.
Was it? So probably just be just expensive as
because you can get just like a grinder. You can like a hand crank grinder. Because I looked into it when I first got the Enders back in the day. Like reusing all the supports. Yeah, crushing up the little pellets and melting it. into it isn't super expensive because you can get a hand grinder that crunches up into little pellets. It's extruding it into a filament. That the extruder part is, I think, was the most expensive part at the time. Expensive enough that I didn't want to buy one.
Yeah.
Fair.
It was cheaper just to go to Amazon and buy a spool of whatever's on sale.
It wasn't worth the recycling cost,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I got on the hobby kind of side.
It's good. I think it was 2 minutes. That was good.
Yeah. So for me, I absolutely did nothing because I've had. I'll take it back. I did finish a little bit more airbrush painting, and then I got an email or a phone call from my mom saying, "I'll be coming over for Christmas in 2 days. Here's my itinerary." I went, oh, great! It's a good thing you could pick the day that I just happened to be off, so I could pick you up at the airport. So my mom has been here, and she's been in my office, and we've been visiting cousins and families when I'm not working. So I haven't had a chance to do a thing, honestly. And Rob can attest to this because we usually at least play some games in the evenings. It's been almost 2 weeks now since we actually sat and played a game, right?
I just assumed you were dead.
Yeah. So I got a big rash. So
I don't want to know.
I mean, there's some things that are related to the dropship, but that's going to come more in the MechBay Hanger than anything else. Yeah, in the MechBay Hanger than anything else. So, yeah, literally nothing.
Well, there you go.
Tis the season, guys.
I think I went down to the basement just to wash clothes since my mom's been here.
Nice.
So
it's been warm too.
Just the season, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's not even any snow out.
Yeah, a lot of rain. If the weather was colder, there'd be a lot of snow.
Yeah, it's been a lot of rain. Well,
now
that we're talking about the weather, I think it's the end of the segment.
Yeah, it's time to end the dropship because we're now talking. We're having old men conversations.
This is where Pat's like, man, if only the Earth had.
We're having 50-year-old plus conversations. There's a lot of rain going on, don't you think?
You know, my knees. I'm really got the standing desk now.
All right, so let's get out of this and move on to the ComStar.
Sounds good.
Message from ComStar.
All right, here we are at the ComStar. Let's talk about some of the things we watched, or didn't watch, or read, or didn't read, or played video games, or didn't play video games. So we'll start with Rob.
We do have things otherwise, news-wise at least.
News. There's a couple of news things that probably fill up this section.
Yeah. Macross II on Kickstarter. Brian, you probably know more about this than I do, but you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so the Macross II, for those that aren't aware, was the original sequel to Macross. It's often subtitled as Lovers Again. It's a crazy show from 1992, and kind of fell into that camp of it wasn't widely popular when it came out. It did a lot of things plot-wise that didn't jive with people, but it was a very visually impressive show. I believe Haruki Mikimoto, I think I'm pronouncing that right, did a lot of the art. For those that aren't familiar, same guy that did the art for Macross Do You Remember Love? So and it was so widely panned that the original short art came back and did Macross Plus as a kind of response to that of like, this is how you make a Macross. And Macross Plus is amazing. So take that for what it's worth. But long story short, there's a Kickstarter project going on to get a Blu-ray print of Macross 2 out to the people, and I think they've already hit their original goal.
Yeah, it was only it looked like the original goal was 75,000. They've already up to 210 now. So
yeah,
And there's still 18 days to go at the time of recording, so it'll be like 15 days to go, something like that.
Yeah, and this also still kind of falls into the whole thing where this is a franchise that's notoriously difficult to get stateside, or there's a lot of fan subbing and stuff like that, and it's still Macross. It's still really neat, transforming mechs. There's still a lot of like music tied into what's going on. And so it's definitely worth checking out if you are a fan of Macross and or Robotech. You won't see as much Robotech stuff. There's not robotechnology in the Macross universe. But it's still worth checking out. Give it a look-see. I do remember watching it with some very good friends back in the day, and we had a good time with it. And
is it in continuity, or did they erase the continuity when Plus came out?
So, if I recall correctly, I believe the timeline got erased, which is saying something for a series that otherwise has had one contiguous
that's what I was wondering.
timeline since the 80s. So, yeah, it's supposed to take place 80 years after the events of the first space war, and it's worth checking out, I think. And if nothing else, it's really cool to have more Macross access to it, because it seems like it's still a problem.
Well, yeah, I see that it's available anywhere in the world except for Japan and China. So obviously they don't have the rights to selling in Japan, because
I would guess not.
The original owners probably have that. So
interesting. And I think the dub that I listened to, I think it was a Hong Kong dub.
Yeah. A
Hong Kong English dub.
Back when Hong Kong was part of England, not part of China. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I wonder if Harmony Gold's going to sue these people.
I think they did mention something like in the notes about like, this is what we have the rights to, and this is what we don't. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. The other thing is Peter Cullen got a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Emmys, which is cool. You can watch the video on YouTube. We'll have the link in the show notes. Megatron.
It was a really nice speech.
Yeah, Megatron Welker there. He introduced him and brought him in, and then it was a great speech by talking about his brother who inspired him. And
actually, is what he uses. I think he said his brother's voice is what he.
That's
Optimus Prime on.
Yep, and his whole attitude was based on his brother, who was a military hero in World War II. So it was a really good speech. Everybody should watch it. Really good that he got recognition, because it's a lot of people's childhoods right there. And as much as Bay tried to ruin his legacy by making him say some pretty horrible things in the Bay movies,
we have to kill them all.
I'm gonna rip his face off and things like that. Terrible.
Let me have your face.
Yeah, terrible. But let us forget that. Remember the good old days when Hot Rod got him killed.
Yeah. Yeah, but Hot Rod and his
and everyone dared to be stupid.
Yes. He was dead at that point, so it doesn't count. The other big news is this is interesting. Is Catalyst Games has a role-playing game thing now that they're doing. People who make Battletech, obviously, and their first role-playing game they announced is Voltron, and it's the Voltron. Looks like it's the original Voltron plus, or the is it Netflix? Yeah, Netflix Voltron. So it's kind of interesting they have rights to all that different ones. So hopefully
it'll have the princess. I kind of like the new version a little bit better.
Yeah, well, obviously the new version is actually a good story, unlike the old version. Hopefully a vehicle Voltron, but I doubt it, because that's totally different. But anyways,
it would be awesome though.
You never know.
And I'm sure you could use the rules to play vehicle Voltron too.
Yeah, but, I mean, vehicle Voltron would probably even be better, just because it's mainly an expeditionary.
Yeah, thing. It's a lot more exploring and actual you get into trouble, whereas the other one kind of trouble comes to them.
Yeah.
But
They just sit around until someone comes to invade.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Pretty much. But still, it's interesting that Catalyst got that the rights to that. So maybe it's a sign for future things too.
Did it say in the Kickstarter or whatever?
It's not Kickstarter.
I'm sorry, their announcement. Did they say who's going to be writing it?
Nope. That was all the announcement was.
I was curious. I wonder if it's going to be any of the guys like who do.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be the
Shadowrun or what's the other one they do? Mech Warrior. Do they Mech Warrior?
Destiny. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be those guys. It'll be in house. They don't usually. I don't think they ever use outside house for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I like the Shadowrun guy.
Oh yeah, like they have a long history of doing role playing games, so it's not like they have an issue with that. So I'm sure it'll be good. It's funny that that's how big Catalyst is now. They've expanded. They have a board game division now, and now they have a role playing game division. So it's gotten quite large. So
good for them.
Yeah, it's good that they're not buying Lamborghinis and stuff. Instead, they look like they're putting it back into the company, which is a lot of companies don't do that. So, they are buying giant Urbies to blow up though. So there is that. Speaking of UrbanMechs, TechTalks Battletech did a special Christmas edition of UrbanMech.
Yep. This is my only one ComStar.
Well, you can talk about it. But
I'm not going to be able to talk about it because I was 2 minutes into it before my mom asked me to go do something, and I have been back to go watch it since.
He did.
Check out that spoiler-free review from Pat.
Yeah, he did a review of the UrbanMech before. This is kind of like a director's cut because it's all animated pretty much. He has a lot of people working with him for art now that he never had before, and it's a lot of animation in this one. It's really
I saw a
really cool
picture. Speaking of UrbanMech, I saw a picture somewhere might have been on Facebook, and it might have been a Photoshop thing, but it was like an UrbanMech Lance. It was just like 4 UrbanMechs in a box. Is that even a real thing?
Oh, for Catalyst sells an UrbanMech box. It's 30, I think, UrbanMechs.
Oh, all right. So then maybe it might have been a real thing.
Yeah, it is. They definitely sell that. Yeah. They do UrbanMech salvage boxes, I think, and a giant one that has tons. UrbanMech is kind of the mascot now of Catalyst's Battletech. So, as much as a lot of grognards hate it, it's been embraced by the community. So, but he does like a fake history of he pretends he's doing history in universe. So he talks about the history of the UrbanMech and yeah. He doesn't trash it at all. He tells it as it is because it's a nice cheap little pacification mech, which works.
It is.
On to what I've actually done. I'm still reading all the Battletech books. I'm still in the Dark Age, but I'm moving to the Clan era. I'm right on the edge right now, and it's so funny that all the Clicky Tech factions, because in Clicky Tech they didn't just have the regular factions; they had like all these weird sub factions like Steel Wolves and like a lot of weird things. Yes.
They had Steel Panther, the band.
It's true. Before the band was even around, the band took their name after the game. But
they're Tech players.
Yeah, they have all these factions, but in these books, they're just tearing these factions to nothing. Because they're like, screw this, we're getting rid of all these factions. So it's so funny, unceremoniously just taking them out, just either absorbing them back into what they originally came from, or just disintegrating them, or killing their leaders, or it's just so funny that they're just dismantling the whole Dark Age. It's at this point,
WizKids, your history will be erased.
Yeah, Catalyst have taken over at this point, and it is the erasure of the Clicky Tech era, the Dark Ages, in more ways than one. So that's always funny. There's one author though. She always just does a murder mystery kind of thing, and it's I swear to God, these aren't made for BattleTech. We had talked about this last month, I think, or the month before. But yeah, so I'm on another one of hers where it's just she likes serial killers a lot. So there's a lot of serial killing.
Imagining
BattleTech.
An UrbanMech wearing a fedora.
Well, there's hardly any mechs in these stories.
Standing underneath a spotlight.
Yeah. It's a film noir UrbanMech. He's in kind of a grays.
That would be cool. This is not that cool. This is more just people trying to investigate other people.
All the dropships and all the worlds, you had to walk into mine.
Yeah. Of all the lances.
See?
Of all the dropships.
You've written a better book already. And the other thing I've done, since I've had some time off with the holidays, I've watched every one of the MonsterVerse movies because I've been watching Monarch. I'm caught up on Monarch. So
Is Monarch done yet?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, see, and that, I decided I'm gonna wait till Monarch to finish so I can
I likes to watch stuff when they're all done.
binge it.
So I watched them all in order, in an in-world chronological order. So starting with, I think Kong was the first one, all the way through. And it's funny how Monarch kind of fits in between.
Was Kong the first one? I thought Godzilla was the first one.
No.
Well,
Kong would took place in.
As far as the movies came out,
Yeah.
Godzilla was the first one, but Kong Skull Island takes place
in the 50s.
I'm sorry. You said chronologically. I wasn't. I was thinking chronologically when the movies came out. Not
in universe chronological.
That's got to be weird to watch that first Godzilla again after all the newer stuff.
It's actually not too bad.
I did watch it. It's not horrible. It's not.
No?
It's
the Muta is kind of stupid, but
Mutons, yeah. But it fits. Like it fits in.
Mm-hmm.
It's early enough too that that's like the second movie, anyways, because it's I think.
Yeah.
So
it would be the second one, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Skull Island. Well, actually, there's a cartoon too. So it's Skull Island. There's a Skull Island cartoon.
Because what year is Skull Island? Was between the 60s?
No, 50s, I think.
Even that late? Because I thought it was like the Vietnam vets guys.
They're leaving Vietnam.
Oh no, it's Vietnam. You're right. It's 70s then. Yeah, late 60s, 70s. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah,
about that.
were evacuating Saigon.
Yeah, so it would have been 76 or whatever. That's right. I forgot. I'm thinking of Monarch. At the beginning of Monarch is like the flashbacks are in the 50s.
That's World War II-ish, yeah.
After World War II, in between.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's funny how Monarch fits into, like, this brand new show fits in right into the chronological of all these movies. It's like, oh, okay, that's, especially after watching that show, it's like, oh, that's who this person is. Oh, that's who this person. That's where this fits in. And then I just finished Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong. I think it goes that way. And even though with Monarch and that is like, that's like a public thing. And the latest episode of Monarch, spoilers, is that they became public. And I'm like, oh, this fits in right before this happened. So it all works. But that, what was it? King of the Monsters. That movie is post-apocalyptic.
King of the Monsters.
Man, they destroy cities. That movie, I was like, I forgot how many cities got destroyed.
That was a really good Godzilla.
It was the best one of them all, for sure. I think it was the best one. Ghidorah is such a crazy visual and great monster, and as much as I like Mecha Godzilla,
does King of the Monsters come after Kong versus Godzilla?
No, Kong versus Godzilla is the newest one. Yeah,
flip it. Yeah.
Okay, the way you were talking, it sounded like you watched them that way.
King of the Monsters came before Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, but the way you were talking, it sounded like you were saying that Kong came before.
The newest one is Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong. And then there's a new one next year, I think, is a sequel to that. But the newest one's with Mecha Godzilla.
What's the X1? Is that a different version of Godzilla?
Oh no, that's -1. That's
the Godzilla -1.
That's Japanese. That's totally different.
Yeah, that's Japanese Godzilla.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a new Kong.
Anno?
Huh?
No, that's not continuing the Anno.
No,
Godzilla
it's brand new.
Stuff.
It's Toho's reboot of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. I heard it's really good.
Supposedly it's really awesome, but it's not available yet streaming. So when that becomes streaming, I will watch it. But watching all these movies back to back, it was pretty good. But there was the problem with Godzilla versus Kong is there's a little too much of the Kenny little kids running around.
Yeah, the Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, like in King of the Monsters, she was in it, but she wasn't that bad. But this one has her and the little deaf girl, so it was like doubled up on it, and it was a little too much. But
and they were trying to be as equally important to the plot.
Yeah, it was totally separate too. I love how they don't even meet until the end.
There's a lot of characters,
and at the end they don't even meet. They just happen to stand next to each other. They don't even actually say, "Hey, what happened here?" So it was pretty funny. It was. I liked them all. They were good, and I forgot how good Godzilla was because when it first came out, I remember it being slow, and it was like Bryan Cranston gets killed like right at the beginning. Like it's kind of spoilers for a 20-year-old movie, but it was kind of like disappointing because at the time that was like when he was at its height, so everybody wanted Bryan Cranston to be in it, and it was more about Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver than
wasn't it?
than Walter White. So. It was a lot better than I remember it, and I was like, oh yeah, this was actually a good movie, and I forgot about that. Also, Godzilla doesn't really show up for a long time.
I always remember that the Halo jump scene.
Yeah, that's near the end. Yeah,
I was always like
Oh,
that
yeah.
trailer
through the
moment was
clouds. Yeah,
intense.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really really good scenes. Like I say with the King of the Monsters, some really ones. And there's like a Mexico scene where what's his name? What's the bird?
Was it Rodan?
Rodan comes out of the thing, and then Godira. What's his name? Jeez, I just said it.
Gojira.
No, the other one.
The three-headed one?
Monster Zero. Ghidorah, yeah, that's it. When he shows up and is standing on it, like standing over it, it's like, oh, that's pretty post-apocalyptic, very biblical. With he brings storms with him, which is fun. And they destroy many cities, including Boston, and well, in the other movie, San Francisco's destroyed, and Boston gets destroyed. And then in the latest movie, Hong Kong gets wiped out. So I'd like to see a map of what's left in the
exactly.
There's
world.
always that, right?
Because a lot of places
the place to be is to live in Kansas because there's no destruction.
Yeah, they don't
Kansas.
tend to go there. Yeah.
Let's just move to Kansas.
The Arctic in Monarch and the Antarctic in these movies, they get destroyed a bit, but fun though. It's the fun world, and it's surprisingly underrated as a universe, I think. So I suggest anybody who wants to watch it.
And I like Mecha Godzilla.
He's alright.
Yeah, he's pretty good. It was, I think the only thing with him, he got like the relationship got shortchanged with the son of Watanabe's characters.
Oh, the scientist, the
the scientist,
climate change scientist guy.
Yeah, like just I think from what I heard, it was more like scenes cut kind of thing, edited out just because of time, because that was a long movie anyway. Wish there was a bit more with that with Mechagodzilla, but it is what it is. Yeah. It's a big spectacle.
It was. That's a good thing about these movies. They're spectacles, but I think they're all available on Max. If not all of them, they're most of them. So the Monarch is on
Apple Plus.
Apple Plus, yeah, and then Netflix has a few of them because I think it has the Skull Island ones, the cartoon and the original Skull Island. The cartoon was interesting. It was it takes place like on an island next to Skull Island, which is interesting. Like there's a bunch of these islands that are just have these monsters on them, but it was a fun little story about Kong. So it's for a cartoon, it's pretty fun. I'd watch it. It's one season and it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. It could be another season, so maybe. That's what I've watched. Brian, what have you done?
You got anything?
I really don't have much to contribute on this one either.
There ain't no shame in that. There's no shame.
I think
that's why I talked for so long. Like, I knew they would be pretty short on you guys.
It'd be like other newsworthy things. Is that in Witcher Mercury has kind of officially been recognized that the characters got married.
Yeah, which I thought was obvious. Like that, you watch that show, and it's like, okay, obviously they got married.
It was pretty blatantly obvious, except for like the streaming versions of the episode. They digitally edited out their wedding
really?
rings.
I didn't know that.
And that it is back in place on the Blu-ray.
Because I know in Japan, I think it's still not legal for same-sex marriages, or.
I forget.
There's some
Japan's full stance on it. But it was that thing where Bandai kind of took a really wishy-washy. Oh, no, they're just really good. They were roommates.
Yeah. Real good roommates.
They didn't want to commit to it, but the creators, like the people really behind the show, I think pushed hard, and the community was really receptive to it. I mean.
That's pretty much the whole story.
Huge year for them as far as sales go, and new people coming to the genre.
Especially, I'm sure it brought a lot of women in, because that was it was definitely not a boys show like usual.
And then on the flip side, we did get that new trailer for Gundam Requiem of Vengeance, which starts off really fascinating because it looks like. It's hard to tell. It almost looks real, but then it's like, oh yeah, this is an Unreal. And
I thought it was a fan film when I first saw it. Like it looks like that kind of level where it's like it's pretty good, but it's not.
It does fit into that weird category. Not to say that it doesn't look impressive.
No, it looks impressive.
Visually, very impressive.
But it's not like a Marvel movie or something. You're like,
no.
It's not like a blockbuster.
Jury's still out for me on my feelings towards it. I think.
Well, as long as the story's good, I'm sure it'll be fine. But that's the thing.
I think it's, and I won't lie, this might fall into more of a politically spaced area of, it seems like it's coming from the perspective of Xeon.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
And what it's like to be on the opposite side of fighting a Gundam.
What it's like to be on the side of right. I get it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be morally gray, or it's going to be people will be like, "Oh, it's bad on both sides," kind of thing. I'm sure that's how it'll end up. But it does look at least by the trailer, it's like holy, like a Gundam looks like it's the devil because it's
what is that thing?
And it's just wiping people out and killing their friends. It's like, oh yeah, it's from that side it looks horrible. Meanwhile, you're like, go Gundam,
you're a murderer.
So we'll see how that one ultimately shakes up. I think it's due out next year. I forget what the timeline is on it.
Who knows?
But I think it's still vague, so I think it's just like 2024. So yeah, we'll let you know how it goes, guys.
We'll watch it when we can. That's for sure.
Oh, sure.
That's what you tune in for.
All right. I guess me is equally brief. I don't even have an explanation about anything. Pretty much talked about the two things I paid attention to, which was the UrbanMech Tech Talk, which I didn't get to finish or really start. Let's just be honest. And I did watch the Gundam trailer like 15 times. I cried during Pin Color's award speech. Teared.
Yeah, it was pretty touching.
And books, nothing. Did I get anything?
We'll get to that.
Well, we'll be getting to this.
Yeah, this is a MechBay here. Yep. All right. So let's just wrap it up for ComStar then, because I'm just me going like,
Yeah.
So, all right. The MechBay Hanger it is.
Woo!
Now entering the MechBay Hanger.
All right, here we are at the MechBay Hanger. Today we are going to just make this the Xmas recap. What kind of mech stuff we got, things like that, hobby stuff. Because it's that time of year. We like to talk about some of the cool things we got, except for Rob, who doesn't believe in Christmas and he steals stuff from babies.
No, Christmas is about hanging out with family and eating a lot and
getting stuff.
No, that's
not getting.
You're such a consumer.
100%. That does never question in my mind.
Have you been to the show?
To the horde.
Yeah. So, let's switch it up this time. Brian, why don't you tell us how your Xmas was?
Sure. Well, it was a lot of fun, and the extra caveat being not caveat, I guess the extra point, I guess, is we actually got to spend some time with my family in Wisconsin, which typically doesn't happen since my wife works at a bakery and it's the churn and burn around this time of year.
Gotta make those cakes. Make those cakes.
And with the holiday landing on a Sunday meant we just head out on Friday and I'd get back early Tuesday.
Nice.
She went into work when we got back for a couple hours. But anyway, it did have a fun time. I got some sci-fi goodies. I did get a copy of the Armored Core 6, the Fires of Rubicon. So nice. I'm looking forward to diving into that. I guess one thing in the ComStar I probably could have mentioned, I'm still playing through Horizon Forbidden West, which is the giant robot dinosaur game. Trying to make more of a dent into the story, the main thread, since I got this backlog of stuff that I kind of want to get to. So yeah, Armored Core 6, and then I did pick up, I believe it's called Hardcore Mecha, which is on the Switch. And let me just make sure I've got it right. Yeah, Hardcore Mecha. This was like a 2D platformer one that looked really cool, and the sales were still going on, so I managed to catch it on sale, so that was fun. And then I do finally have a copy of Stargrave, the book, so I can play through that Osprey system, and use all my Mantic minis for another game on top of the stuff. They have some. I've read through it. They don't have explicitly giant robots, but they do have robots and some like warbots and stuff like that. So I think my mechs will still see some battles. I know my good buddy from Canada, Jeff Burbage, is constantly telling me to play Stargrave. So I'll probably see about getting a little bit of playing in on that at some point. And then also it's Christmas adjacent. Is that the Kickstarter rewards from Corvus Game Strain latest Kickstarter were released like the other day. So
Nice.
I was downloading all those files and checking those out. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I have added in my collection. Rob, how about you?
I don't believe in Christmas. No, I got some things. First thing, we'll be talking about it in the future, but Salvage Union, they actually sent us PDFs of their stuff, so we're gonna check that out. So we have that to look through.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll be doing a overview of Salvage Union coming in the new year. I also got this shirt. I don't know if you can see it. It's my
Nice.
Atlas shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I got on, I think it was a Black Friday deal, was the art book of Pacific Rim the Black. And it's goes through every episode. It's a classic art book. It has all the pictures, and it goes through every episode and talks about the making of and stuff. But it's a lot of beautiful pictures of...
That's pretty thick.
Oh, yeah. It's 2 seasons, so... Yeah, they show, like, production photos, and it's it's nice. I like it a lot, and I'm reading through it. Really nice production. Like the cover is I don't know if you can tell, but the glass here is
it
shiny.
raised?
Yeah, it's shiny. So
Oh yeah.
so
There you go.
cool. Yeah, it'll be a nice background at very least to my my Pacific Rim shelf. So yeah, I got that. Other than that, I don't think I got anything else that is mech related. I got a neck massager, which I'm very excited about. So,
a mech massager.
A mech massager. It does. It's got like an uncanny valley thing though. When you first turn it on, it feels like someone's fingers. It's like a shiatsu one, so it's like it feels like someone's actually massaging my neck. It's crazy.
Does it transform into?
It transforms into
a killer robot.
Oh, maybe it does feel at times it's going to snap my neck, but. But that's it. What about you, Pat? We know you have a lot of stuff because you wanted to talk about it because you're a child.
Well, I did. I got I got a lot of stuff as far as mechs and sci-fi stuff are concerned. So we'll start with the hobby stuff. So I ended up getting 3 sets of the Monument paint sets that I've been missing. I got the metallics and set 3 and 4. So the only thing I'm missing now are the washes. I don't know how I'll get the washes though because I have their transparent paint, and I have the Army Painter speed paints that I could use as washes. Just thin them up a little bit, and they'd be great. So I'm excited to get some more paint down on some stuff, and now that I have almost a full set of Monument paints, Pro Acro paints, if people are looking for, sold by Monument Hobbies. Pro Acro paints, they're my new favorite paints right now.
They are nice paints. I have some of those that I've never used.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, and then I can put those on some models and some mechs, finish up some Cav stuff too that I got laying around. And I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do now that I don't have a faction for
Yeah.
Iraq.
Yeah.
Correct.
You have to wait till the new book comes out, see who you like.
Yeah, I have to figure it out.
They're all different now, so
I might go with the
they're
not
all
the
different.
Templars.
So you never know.
The other, yeah, you're right. I'll probably wait for the book. I'll just continue to paint what I got. Thanks, John. What else? So paints. I got a tabletop wire foam cutter.
Oh.
So it's the big one that lays on the table, and it's got the vertical wire.
What kind of foam are you cutting?
The single extrude pink foam or blue foam.
What are you making out of this foam?
Oh, so the best way we got that is twofold: is to cut bigger pieces in a straight line instead of using the handheld and the edges being all
for actual putting up insulation. You mean?
No, it's this is the hobby thing. So it's usually made for making bases and bigger diorama pieces. So why I got it is I want to continue to move forward and make some diorama pieces with some of these models that I'm doing.
Are you going to build a giant gaming table in your hoard room?
Well, that being said, I do have. There was a Kickstarter I backed from a guy that I think was part of IKEA design team back in the day. I can't remember how it started, but basically it comes from like an IKEA type kind of person, a 6x4 table, IKEA version. So it was like
flat packed.
Yeah, and it's nice, and it was fairly cheap. It was like $3.99 for a 6x4 table.
You look at those gaming tables that we see at the convention stuff. They're like thousands of dollars. So
yeah, so I thought, well, $3.99, not too bad. And then there's some wood toppers you could buy. The wood toppers are very expensive, but I feel like I could make the wood toppers myself. So I just got the gaming table with the mat that fits in and the coasters that clip into the side, so you can put your drink down and everything. So
is that going to be in the basement or is that going to be upstairs?
It's going to be in the basement.
Yeah, okay.
Are you kidding? My wife wanted me to have that upstairs.
So the topper, you don't need the topper anyways. Then.
No, I won't need it. I would.
If you had a topper on it, all it would do is get filled with boxes of games you've never opened.
Well, that being said, I have some new shelving that I've been putting together I'm gonna get rid of those cabinets and those shelves, and they'll go on those cubicles.
So the cabinets are the doors shut. You have no idea what's on those shelves, so it's better to show them. Like I have Kalex for all my omnibus, which you can see everything.
Yeah, I have two Kalexes, and then occasionally we'll get a flooding accident. So I've stopped buying those.
Yeah, it is on the ground.
I've stopped buying those, and I've bought these plastic cubicle things that I saw on Amazon. So I don't have to worry about propping them up like I've done with the Kalexes.
Yeah,
I put them on some bricks. Where's I at? Foam cutter. So I got that.
There's so much you can't remember.
He's got a list.
And then I got a Battlestar Pegasus model kit. About 13 inches long, I think it is. I don't know what scale it is, but scale is relative in good period because we don't really know how big the Battlestar Pegasus is.
1/8,000th scale, probably something like that.
Yeah. So it's that was pretty cool. And then I got my wife just bombarded me with a lot of hobby stuff. I got a new pin vise. I got a new pin vise. It's a really nice one from Iron Painter. She got me a whole set of magnets. I got it right here.
I do like magnets.
She got everything sticks to it, but she got all this.
Yeah, I got a similar set. Yeah,
a whole pack of magnets.
Don't bring it too close to the camera.
I don't know what to do with this giant ass 50-cent piece magnet.
Is that an actual magnet or just a piece of metal?
No, it's two. It's two of them.
Wow. Yeah. You could
it's in so many sizes.
Maybe something to do with your Neojong.
Probably what I'll do is I'll fucking throw it at someone with a pacemaker and shut it off.
Jeez, that seems violent.
Again, a kid show.
Kids don't eat magnets, kids.
She got me a bunch of razor wire.
To murder children again?
Yeah, so I could wrap it around the house. No, it's hobby scenic razor wire, so you could.
For dioramas once again.
To protect your scenery.
Yeah, or
those kids,
or to have it wrapped up in a Zaku who's
Yeah, yeah.
avenging his friend's
Make
death.
him walk through it.
Kill
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
from the killer that is the Gundam, the evil Fetties. What else did I get? And she got you know how I James Wapple is a fantastic painter, and I watch him all the time. And he does amazing things, especially with oil paints. And so I watched some of those while my wife was there, so she can explain to me what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know, my wife's a very talented scenic set painter and scenic set designer. So she'll explain to me, oh yeah, he's doing blah 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 this to get that, and I go, that means that's gonna be you're gonna have to dumb it down even more.
Yeah, it's magic what he does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he just slops stuff all over something, and then like 40 minutes later, you're like, oh, how did that just happen?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you watch it, you're like, you slow it down, you're like, how did that? He just swiped there, and all of a sudden it looks perfect. What the hell happened?
Yeah, so in the last year, he's been doing everything with oil painting.
Yeah,
oil paints.
More than that, I think he's been really doing the oils.
So, and his oil paint stuff are phenomenal.
Well, the best story is he fell asleep during the live stream and like swiped right across the whole model with his oil paint, and he was able to still fix it because it's oil paint. Yeah, it doesn't ruin anything.
Like, no. I watched it because you see where I fell asleep? I go, no. He goes, yeah, I just watched one. There's a here where I have it. Like, he's like this. You see his hand, and it just goes, whoop, and then disappears for a second, and it comes back, and then he just fixes it all up.
That's how, because oil paints are very forgiving.
He had a lot of things going on in his life at that point, and he was not getting very much sleep. So
no,
but he was true to his fans and pumped out content still. So I watched a lot of his videos with my wife, and then she thought it would be fun, and she got me a whole set of oil paints so I could try and paint some models in oils.
Teach you how to use them?
She is going to actually teach me how to use them because oil paints scare the F out of me.
Well, they're not scary because you can't really screw them up. It's just it's hard to work with them. Like
I know, that's what I'm saying.
They don't set. You have to wait. Like that's the thing. Once you have it correct, you have to wait for it to dry.
And you're looking at the guy who is not patient at all.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. I could never use oils because it would, like, that's why I'm good at wet blending because I do wet blending naturally because I'm so in such a hurry that it just happens.
I do the same, but I'm willing to give this a shot and try it out. And I mean, some of the stuff he does, and it makes blending, and what my wife tells me is that it makes blending everything so much easier. Mm-hmm. Than wet blending
because there's no time limit. You just keep working.
Yeah. You just keep working.
If it does dry out, you add a little bit of mineral spirits.
Or if you mess up, you just take a sponge and you wipe right off and start over again.
Or you can just work it. You can always just work it around too. Move the paint. Yeah.
So
it just it's you have to think about it completely different than you do with water-based paints. That's all.
Yeah. So I'm excited to do some oil painting on mechs.
Yeah.
Some of the Battletech,
especially with I remember a friend Alex was telling about different ways of doing light sources on mechs and stuff, like different things that aren't normal. Like
I did that on my Zhong, my Neo Zhong, and I've been doing it on my original Zhong, and I've been doing it on my Neo Zhong.
Yeah, where you're not lighting it necessarily to the light source.
Yeah. So, and shading it in different angles. It's very cool and it looks good.
Yeah.
So I've been working with that lately, but I'm looking to do some 28s. Some of my Battletech things that I got, because I got a ton because we did that Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And you gave me all the Inner Sphere stuff. So
plus, we have 3D printers, so you have unlimited Battletech miniatures.
Yeah. Well, I want to get the stuff that we have in boxes that are just sitting there. Like if I just painted some of the stuff in the boxes, that horde would look totally different.
Well, the good thing about actually also having the boxes is that's a lance, so you could just paint that whole lance the same way, and it's fine. Like you don't.
I also
have to
think that painting this would be easier Steiner wise too, with the blue.
Yeah, you could do different shades of blue and
Yeah. So I'm excited for that, and she's gonna help me with that. So. Did I get anything else? I mean, I got a lot of hobby stuff. That's why I was very excited because there's.
I bought you a Steiner shirt.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did forget. I did forget, but when you talked about your shirt, I said yes. So I also got some really cool things from Rob. I got a Steiner shirt.
Yeah, it just says the fist.
My hand's crooked. Wait, there you go. Straighten my arm out. Boom. How does that gauntlet not crooked like my hand?
Because it's not real.
So that was awesome. Thank you, Rob. Unrelated to, I got Cults of the Cthulhu. Just wanted to mention that because that's a good book. And ketchup chips, because I love ketchup chips.
Although the customs person ate one of your ketchup chips.
Yeah, I do think that box came back like someone rifed through it with a shovel.
They thought I was smuggling him in drugs or something instead of ketchup chips.
It looks like they look like they opened it with a pickaxe.
Please.
And then there was a mysteriously empty bag of chips. So I think someone in customs didn't get his lunch. He's like, "Oh, ketchups, eh?"
Or he did get his lunch.
Yeah, out of our box.
So the Steiner shirt was the bomb.
You also got an amp.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't transform into anything. It transforms into different sounds.
Yeah, that's right. The sound transforms when you go through your amp.
So I got an older Line 6, what I've been wanting. Not some of the newer ones. So the older model I got is one that also you could lay some tracks into, so it'd have it play while you're playing, which is really cool. And it's just got a ton of sounds that I've been messing around with. So
it's
every time I found it,
it's like a synthesizer built into an amp.
Well, it instead of using effects pedals, it just digitally puts the effects into the sound. So like like for one time I was rolling through some of the Dirty Sons, one of them was like Rocky Like a Hurricane. So I played it and it sounded like the guitar off from Rocky Like a Hurricane.
That's funny.
And then there was an Atomic Punk one.
That's a preset.
Yeah, so then I did an Atomic Punk. That one was pretty good. Back in Black. Howard Hell. There was a couple Metallica ones like For Whom the Bell Tolls and Battery and
that's funny.
What's the other one? Red Lightning. So yeah, it's got just a ton of blues, a ton of clean settings. Like there were a couple of Rush settings that I enjoyed. But any musicians out there know it's Line 6. They make a pretty decent amp, and it's pretty loud. So I was trying to get it to work, and I couldn't get the sound to come out. I was like, "Oh my god, this thing's broken already."
Yeah.
But I hadn't noticed that the master volume. So you have your volume over here, and then the master volume was like way off to the side.
Does it go to 11?
Well, I went to 4, and it was loud. And it happened to be on It was on. It was on Atomic Punk, and I had strummed the guitar, and I was looking at the knobs, turning knobs, and I got to this one because it was kind of in the dark, and I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't read it. So I turned it just a little bit, and it was like, "Wah!" It was like the scene from
Back to the Future.
It was like Back to the Future, and my dogs took off running out of the room.
You get shot through a wall.
Yeah. So I said, first of all, I was upset that we had gotten this. My wife had gotten this for Christmas, and it was busted. But then
it wasn't busted. You just didn't know how to use
busted.
it.
I just yeah. Well, if stupid me, I need new glasses. What it is, and sometimes because I have bifocals now because I'm old, and this transition part is not up to par. So when I use it to read close or read things, it's still blurry. So I end up taking my glasses off, and then to read close, I'm reading things like this, and I'm looking at the amp, which is further away, and I can't see that then.
It sucks being old.
I know. So, this would all be fixed if I just went to the eye doctor.
Moral of the story, kids, go to the eye doctor.
and get new glasses. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I got a lot of hobby stuff that I'm excited for, which should, fingers crossed,
revitalize you. We got to do hobby hangouts again because I haven't painted anything because we don't hang out.
I think we should probably. Yeah. When we do hang out, though, the problem is that we play video games.
Stupid video games. No more video games.
We should probably start to paint again.
Yeah, we're just playing the old crappy video games over and over again. So
the football season's wrapping up soon, so like my My hobby time is
Gonna go
probably
away.
going to be going with it.
So
I don't care.
I'm excited for the paints. I'm excited for the foam. I'm really excited for the foam cutter because I've been watching a guy on YouTube, and I forget what his name is, but he does a lot of different dioramas. Like he made a Mines of Moria diorama with the dwarves fighting off. Like he based it on
Smaug.
the dwarves taking the Moria back
When they took it back originally.
before they lost it. And so he has like dark parts with the goblins, and he put arrows come flying in the air and a couple dwarves. So
Is there a Balrog?
no, that would be Lord of the Rings. This is prior to the Hobbit.
Same place though, right?
Oh no, it's after the Hobbit, but prior
it's after the Hobbit, before Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, because
or
when
Fellowship, at least.
Yeah, because they think they still have it.
Balin.
Yeah. Yeah, Balin. Balin's Last Stand. Balin. If you're from the... I'm surprised you don't say Balin being from Wisconsin.
I
says
was
it correctly.
doing it as reference to the movie. So
Balin.
this is the home of my cousin Balin.
Yeah, so I'm excited for the foam because it has an edger, so you can cut very straight lines. And if anyone's used a foam cutter, you get that woo on the edges. So
That's good for if you're doing like cliff faces, but not so much if you want to do walls.
yeah,
Yeah.
or just cut a straight square. So
It's almost like
All
a table saw at this point.
almost, yeah, but it's a heated wire, so it's very cool. I mean,
So
my wife says,
how long before Pat burns himself?
well, it's not even that. My wife jokes. She goes, "Well, now first I bought you a spray booth that you don't use. You just spray in the air, and you're gonna probably die from that. So, and now I've given you a foam cutter that you probably won't wear a mask.
No.
While you're cutting foam." And so he goes, "Rob and Jack, I think I'm killing you by buying you these things."
Yeah. And we already do.
Death.
We already know it's true.
So, but she's right. I'm just,
Stubborn?
just whatever, it is what it is.
Killing you softly with styrofoam.
Yeah. Well, these guys been from day one since we started Hobby Hanger. They used to give me a hard time for airbrushing without a mask.
Or airbrushing, yeah.
Right in front of everything. So
it's not good.
Yeah. All right, so that's the MechBay Hanger. I hope everyone had a good Christmas.
Yeah, if whatever you've gotten for Christmas, your hauls, post below.
Anything cool? Post some pics, some cool things that we might have missed that you think we should get, or me, because I am the consumer.
I like the idea of if things that we missed, take pictures of and send them. Like, are they sneaking around your houses?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just some things that you might have missed, like like this cool new Gundam model might have been out.
Yeah, we cover a lot, but especially on Facebook, that's where you can post the pictures. You can comment on YouTube, but Facebook is the place for pictures, or Twitter.
So let us know. Let us know if there's any cool gifts we might have missed that we could probably pick up for ourselves. Any cool books we might have missed. Any cool dub movies. that we might. Well, Brian would probably know it, but he doesn't tell us everything. So let us know.
I'm so far behind on movies. Like, it's not
We're all
even
behind.
funny.
We're catching up.
Behind. All right. Well, let's ExFil out of here and wrap it up.
Let's ExFil out of here.
All right. Here we are at the ExFil. Gonna wrap it up. Merry Christmas to you guys. If I hadn't said it to you already.
Happy New Year.
Happy
New Year.
The distant future.
Thanks again, Rob, for everything you got. Thanks for everything you didn't get me, Brian.
You're welcome.
He got his continued loyalty to the Pharaoh.
Of course.
Your Adepticon packets are on the way.
That's right.
Yes.
He's actually
Thank
the
you
only
very
one
much
helping
for that.
you at Adepticon, so you should suck up to him.
Yeah. He gets treated very well. He knows that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Mick mentioned that we're now in Blue Sky. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but
It's like X or X Twitter, but it's new.
It's like a.
is it where all the Twitter people who want to be on Twitter but not
So
Elon
there's a
Musk
lot of people
controlled.
escaping, to Blue Sky.
Yeah, that's
So
where a lot of people went.
Blue Sky is the escapee platform now.
Yeah, we'll see if it's
One
successful.
of them.
But you have to. The thing is,
Is it-
it's invite only right now, so we got invited, so that's nice.
Yeah,
Mobile
so if you're on
Armor
Blue
Radio.
Sky, just search Mobile Armor Radio. So do you think it's going to turn into, I guess, what Kick turned into when Twitch started banning people?
I have no idea what that is.
I guess it's a streaming platform, but there are no rules to it. You just stream whatever you want.
So it's all just girls,
Oh,
naked girls.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a lot of trolling live streams, and I'm just waiting for someone to start doing murder scenes.
I'm sure it's already happening.
Yeah.
Not because he wants to see it,
It is.
but he's curious how soon the legal repercussions of that will happen.
I mean, from what I see on YouTube and everything, Kick is slowly self-destructing.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah. Look it up, kick.com.
No,
Or don't.
it doesn't sound. It doesn't sound place
It's a
I would go
free
to.
country.
I've been watching.
If it's like Twitch
also
or TikTok, no, I don't want to go there.
I'm also watching that guy. I forget what his name is, but he has that piracy YouTube channel.
Oh, H-Bomber guy.
Yeah, he used to work for Blizzard.
Yeah.
He
really?
does. He used to do a. He's got the long hair with a really deep voice.
Arthas?
I don't know what his name is.
Anyways,
Uh,
what about him?
but he talks. He did a couple episodes about Kick and why it's horrible, and he'll just stick with Twitch, even though Twitch is pretty bad too.
He does some very involved, practically documentaries. His Roblox one in particular really was fascinating.
How it's gambling for children?
Yeah,
So
with very poor moderation.
the name of the channel is Pirate Software. I just remembered it, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he used to work for Blizzard. I think he was one of the lead designer guys over there.
Interesting.
So, yeah. All right. So, let's wrap it up.
Like, share, subscribe.
There you go.
Comment
Blue
below.
Sky.
Comment on Facebook. Go on X or Blue Sky. Find us. Stalk us on those
wherever you use
things.
social media.
Yes, you.
Other than
do that.
Instagram, we don't do. So, not for that. We have private Instagrams.
Yeah, we don't. There's nothing we would do for this show. We don't go to a lot of mech conventions. We probably should.
Yeah, well, some of us have jobs.
Well, some of us will have more time to visit more conventions soon.
Yeah.
In the next year.
Yeah, but I'd love to go to CavCon. That's when
Yes,
that's
I would
definitely
too.
on the list.
All right. Well, then, for Mobile Armor Radio, I've been your host, Chopper.
I've been Brian.
I'm Rob.
We will see you all next week. Have a happy New Year. And once again, I hope you had a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, blah, blah, blah.
All of the above. Be
Bah
well, everybody.
humbug.
Happy 24.
2024.
Woo, leap year.
Happy Jack Bauer.
Cat, let's make a Happy Jack Power. Cat, let's make a technical readout 2024.
It'd be pretty boring, I think.
Yeah, it'll be all Teslas and
Technicals and drones.
Chevy and Ford Broncos.
Unfortunately, a lot of drones.
Yeah.
There you go. Why are we still
All right.
talking? Let's get out of here.
I don't know. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter @MArmorRadio. Join us on the first of every month for more Mecha discussion.